You're listening to Inside the Mines with Dante Marsh and Ryan Hyde, a podcast about life, lessons, and whatever the hell else they want to talk about.
Our guest today on today's show, Mr. Aaron Hunt, good friend of mine, former teammate, Texas Tech Red Raider, Denver Broncos, Miami Dolphin, and big-time BC Lion, Mr. Aaron Hunt.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there?
Yeah, man. So let's get into it, Hunt. Let's talk about you from Texas.
Yeah.
Which part are you from?
Dallas, north of Dallas.
Dallas. So how close is Oak Cliff High School from you?
From where I live now, or from where I used to live?
Where you grew up at?
It's probably like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I was out there for a while, so I was trying to put my demographic.
Turn you up.
So you when did you start playing football?
Like I played football since I was I played flag when I was 7.
Okay.
I didn't play tackle football until I was in the 7th grade though. But I played flag up until I was in the 7th grade.
Now see, a lot of people don't know this. See, I know this because I've been your teammate for years. Hunt was actually a svelte track runner.
Yeah, you might
like what, 10.6, 10.5?
Hey, you might not know that by looking at me, but I had some wheels.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. So you so who was you didn't play till 7th grade. So in Texas, I know for here in California, we have like organizations. I know when some other states y'all do it, it's in school. Like y'all like
right.
So out there, so you started playing in 7th grade. What team did you play for in Texas? And then could you?
It was my middle school.
Middle school. Okay, so
middle school.
Attached. That's attached, right?
Yeah, it's attached. Like now it's different, but back in the day, you could only play. Well, they had some select leagues, but back in the day, you could pretty much only play for your school. And if you were like me, because we were broke, we didn't know, or we couldn't go to any select leagues. You know what I mean? They were all outside or in a city, Dallas, in which I said was 45 minutes, or just too far for where we can be.
Gotcha. So you for those that don't know, you come from an athletic family. Your older brother, who I had many battles against in the Western Athletic Conference when he was you. Oh, Horn Frogs, Mr. Reggie. So you and Reggie growing up, how was that?
Oh man, it was good, man. You know,
was he punking
Reggie,
you up?
Reggie was my best teacher in the world, right? Reggie taught me a lot just because he was dumb enough to go through it, right? So I learned a lot just because he did it, and I was like, I ain't gonna do that. So it was that simple, really. You know what I mean? And growing up, man, it was just us two, right? My dad had a bunch of kids, but it was really just us two. Mm-hmm. And at my house, you know what I mean? And he kind of showed, like I said, he made a lot of mistakes, but he showed me the way, right? He had to be the one to go through it first. And he was afraid to, but he did it, and he made his mistakes and I learned from it, I mean, it was good. Yeah, he used to try to rough me up when I was younger. But, as I got older, I got bigger than him, so he ain't want no more problems.
No, he did. No, man. So football was always your main love, right?
Yeah. Football.
And how serious was track for you in the beginning?
Track was just something we did because of football, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, we always knew you had to be fast to play football. I mean, this is gonna sound crazy, but I probably should have took track more serious because I was pretty fast, right? Like I ran the 400, right? And it's pretty fast, man. You like we went to the state track meet, everything. Like seeing me now, you wouldn't believe it, but I was fast. You know what I mean? Like even when I was younger, we went to state track meets. I got first in those, like all of those, right? So it was it was real big growing up, but we didn't take it as serious because in Texas it's all football, right? So it's like whatever you do is because of football.
Right.
I could have probably been decent at basketball. I was good at baseball, but everything we did was for football.
Texas, and a select few other states are similar, like the great state of California, right? And
no doubt.
And I can agree with you on the track stuff because I quit every year until my senior year.
Right.
I get out there, I run my little 10-9, 11 flat. And then I think I'm doing something. Then the real track boys come out there. I'm gassing 50 meters, and it's like,
yeah,
I quit.
Because that's the difference. Yeah.
I'm a football player.
Between a football player and a track runner is that they know how to maintain that top speed longer. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
So,
and that's the funniest part too.
And that discouraged me all the way till I was a senior. And then when I really ran, Zoe made me run some 400s. I hated every minute of it.
Right.
And the 4x1. I actually learned hurdles in 2 weeks. I was pretty decent in the 110s and the 300s.
Really?
Yeah, hurdles.
Yeah, that's good.
So, but
I didn't know you ran the hurdles, bro.
Yeah, man. He was like, I need points. You got your football scholarship.
I know, right?
Me. Like, get your ass out there and run them hurdles.
I was always afraid of the hurdles, man. I just never wanted to fall in front of people. Yeah. I never wanted to fall in front of people, man.
I know you didn't. That's the worst ever. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. So what high school did you ended up going to?
High school, the number 17 in the nation at the time was Denison, Texas. That was my high school. Okay. And state champions 3 years in a row. That was us. You know what I mean? That's just some of the stuff we did. No, I'm just hey, no. Hey, I'm not lying about how good we were, but I'm lying.
No,
I'm just joking about.
Because I know.
Yeah.
So
we good,
I know we laughing and shit, but I know. I know Texas is big time football. So
right.
So for me, I'm a California guy, but we here. So for us, I'm sure everybody else in the nation, they know about De La Salle out here. They know about Bosco. They know about Matter.
Oh, okay. Modern day, yeah, for sure.
Right. So for me not being from Texas, I know about Dallas Carter.
Right.
Skyline. So
yeah,
could you kind of give me a quick synopsis on?
Okay, so Dallas Carter and Dallas Skyline, that was more back in our days, right?
Yeah.
And they were speed demons, right? Like they had all the speed, right? All the speed pretty much. But now we done moved over to the power schools, right? So we have schools now with 6,000 kids, right?
Wow.
So you imagine a school with 6,000 kids having a football team. They're gonna beat everybody in the world, right? Even their third teamers, they like Alabama, right? They third teamers could be starters elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's Allen. It's called Allen, Texas. Okay. There's one school called Lake Travis. Lake Travis the same way. Probably the second or third biggest school in Texas, right? They killing everybody. Katie's also a good area. That's close to the Houston area. They have killers too. Here recently, we getting back to that area though. It's Carter and Skyline, but now it's going a little bit east or west, and it's like the Duncanvilles and the DeSotos and the Cedar Hills. Like there's one now who has. I mean, everybody has talent, but it's just that area is like a cesspool in a way. Like you're gonna get
Casey went to DeSoto, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Casey did go to DeSoto. Yep.
Mhm.
It's like it's like a cesspool, bro. Like they probably get 10 D1 every single year, at least 10 D1 offers or signees every single year, right? That's how crazy it is in that area, man. So yeah, man, Texas is it's crazy.
Well, y'all
But
paying high school coaches six figures, man. Come on.
oh yeah. Hey, if you're a high school coach in Texas, you're not making no less than six figures. You're not making no less than 100,000 unless you are a 6-man coach and you still gonna make 85,000 in.
That is crazy.
Right. Yeah. That's how it is, man. That's how big it is, bro.
Need to move.
I told you. Come on down, bro. I'm telling you.
And are those coaches teaching on campus? They just coaching football?
No, straight coaching football, man.
Wow.
They may have to. No, they're not coaching at all. I mean, they're not teaching at all. All they're doing is coaching. Now, they may have to hire basketball coaches and baseball coaches, but they're not doing any teaching. Our head coach plays golf, bro. All day, go coach football. Yeah. He kicks it, man.
Hey, man.
Living a life. Yeah.
I'm thinking about that.
You know, they'll go. I'm telling you, you might as well, man. They'll go and you know, of course, they're gonna support the kids, so they'll be at the games, and it may not be football games. They'll go to the baseball games, you know, and just shaking hands and kissing babies type of deal. But they really got a pretty good gig.
Wow.
Right.
That's crazy. Well, nobody want to coach high school. Hey boy, you getting that little stipend and you teaching clap, man.
Nah, man.
So,
it ain't. Well, assistant coaches, they may have to teach a PE or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the head coaches, nah, it's all love for them.
Wow. See that the head coach for high school out there is like a good deal it's like how the JC head coaches here in Cali.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm just speaking for my school and the district around my school, the car, house, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the six figures. Wow. So it's like, yeah, they give you a car stipend, a housing allowance, and plus your salary. And they gonna hire your wife to do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's dope though, because that's how it should be. Because you're creating,
true.
You're creating a good infrastructure, and then you're gonna get a quality coach that really cares. Obviously,
right.
Rewarding him handsomely, that job is gonna be done pretty good. And I think
you better, Kurt.
Yeah. But see, the flip side of that is the stability, because I know, boy, you better win.
Yeah, well, kinda, man, because I mean, I don't know who all gonna hear this, but every place ain't the same. You know what I mean? Like, some places ain't as stiff as they need to be on trying to find more people. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. I think there should be more of a stricter policy kind of deal. Like, if you don't win in 5 years, we got to do something about it. But it ain't always like that everywhere, anyway.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing to hear that.
Right.
Football coaches is making six figures in Texas. Boy.
Yeah. I'm talking about that. That's the lowest they're gonna make. It's six figures, but it goes up from it's 100,000, but it goes up from there, right?
Yes, because I seen that list and I seen they kept 150, 160. I was like,
yeah, just ignorant, man. You know what I'm saying? like that's some crazy money, man, to just coach football and nothing else. You know what I'm saying? That's love.
But high school though, like I could.
Yeah, high school ain't playing.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, you at the JC level or higher. Yeah, okay. But
yeah, high school. Yeah,
that's love. That's love.
Yeah, it is, man.
I'm gonna have to come out here and get me a lack with some pokers, man. I'm gonna have to, man. I have to pull up on your slab. Huh?
I'm telling you, man. Hey, you be looking like Mr. Moulton. Hey, we had a coach like that, just rolling up looking too cool. And we was like, man, he think he's so cool. This is when we was younger. We was like, man, he think he's so cool, but he was cool. He was that dude.
With that salary, I'd be real cool too.
Man, straight chilling. Yeah. That's what he was. Had him a woman on the side, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right, man, let's get to it, man. So you do your thing in high school. So you were one of the top guys at your high school, right? So what made you choose Texas Tech? And I hate y'all, that damn horse. We'll get to that later. So what made you choose Texas Tech over TCU? Because your brother went to TCU.
Yeah. So a little bit of my history is my brother was the man, right? Mm-hmm. So he was ranked nationally and everything like that. But also I had an older cousin and he went to TCU, right? My older cousin, he went to TCU, got drafted second round by the Bears, right? He went to TCU, so my brother was going to follow him. So it was going to be like a family deal, right? So what happened is, like I said, in high school, we never lost, right? Like, it was very hard to lose. I mean, it was, if we lost, it would be the state game, right? So going into my college decision, like, and the crazy thing is that we had 7 dudes sign letter of intent from my school, right, that year. And every one of us besides one got offered by TCU, right? Mm-hmm. But the problem was TCU, where my brother was, they only won 1 game that year, right? And that was the last game of the season that year. And that was against SMU, right? Mm-hmm. And so we had to make a decision from winning every single game to going to losing every single game, you know, and that's tough for anybody, you know what I mean? And then my brother was even like, shoot, man, I'm finna transfer. So I didn't know if he was gonna be there or not, you know what I'm saying?
Was that before Dennis franchise? Was that before he got there or?
Yup. Okay. That was the last year of Franchoni. No, that was the last year of I forgot that kid's name, man. That coach's name. But that was the last year of him. And then that next year, Franchoni came. And you know, that year LT was there, you know, like that was the year, right? But the funny thing is, man, is that, I mean, this is off the subject, but you know, Reggie was a running back. Right? So Reggie started running back before LT. But Reggie was like, I'm taking too many hits, right? I'm finna play defense. I'd rather hit people, you know what I mean? So Reggie was like, okay, Reggie moved to defense. Then Franchione came. So Franchione came, and then Reggie was like, man, I already know what's about to happen. So during training, Reggie moved to defense. And if Reggie would have stayed, who knows, right? Because Franchione opened up the offense, you know what I'm saying? Then Casey, there's a dude named Pat was there before Casey. And Pat and Casey.
Pick. Huh? My first career college pick against Pat.
Pat Bateau?
Yep.
Already, man. Yeah. Yeah, so that's funny. So yeah, so Pat doing good right now too, man. But Pat was the first guy, then Casey was right after that, right? So then TCU is still off to a good, you know, they still running the show. But at that time, it just wasn't a good place for us, you know what I'm saying? So me and this other guy, I was gonna go to UT, to be honest. I was gonna go to University of Texas. I'd already committed. But on my recruiting trip, you know me, I'm and you know this, Marsh, like everybody in my mind, I see everybody equal. So it's no reason for nobody to be arrogant. It's no reason in my opinion, there's no reason for nobody to feel like they better than the next man because everybody's equal, right? It was a bunch of arrogance going on, man. And in my head, my host was somebody I never heard of. You know what I'm saying? So for him to be acting as arrogant as he was, I was like, I can't be around these kind of people. And he ended up being a pretty good, decent football player, but I didn't know it at the time. And he acted like he was God. So I was like, man, I can't deal with this fool. So I was like, all right, I ain't going to Texas. Then
So pause right there. This is like right after the Ricky Williams.
Rick Williams still at Texas.
Because you 98, right?
I graduated in 90. I mean, I went to school and my first year of college was 99.
Because I'm class of 90, so I'm 97. So I'm 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
Okay. So So Ricky, so I could see why the arrogance would be there. Because
it was at its height.
Yeah.
I mean, Ricky was part of the reason why I was gonna go, and plus that D line was amazing up there. You know what I mean? Like, but I wasn't even gonna be a defensive lineman. I was gonna be a safety. You know what I'm saying? An outside linebacker.
The other corner had just been there. He was a guy. He's a California dude. Him and
Westbrook.
Yes, went to the line.
Westbrook. Yep. Brian Westbrook, killer.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, they were nice. That was a nice squad, bro. That's why I was like, man, I gotta go, you know. But then when I went up there, see, I didn't get the opportunity to even chill with them dudes. I probably would have stayed in Texas, right? But anyway, long story short, I ended up going to getting a home visit from Coach Dykes, and he was a Texas Tech coach. And I just loved him from the beginning, right? And I was just like, I got to talk to my boys about playing. I mean, about going to Tech, right? Because we all wanted to go to the same place. And my other boy said, "Man, I'm going to Texas. I don't care what you're talking about." I was like, "Damn, okay, I understand. You know, I couldn't do it." Anyway, long story short, I ended up going to Texas Tech with just one of my other homeboys. We all went to different places in the Big 12 or outside the Big 12, but you know. But yeah, man, Texas Tech. I already had one one high school teammate there already, so he just made the transition easier and it made it easier. So, after that, it was just, it was easy for me to make that decision since I already had one person there and I already knew a lot of guys there. So that's why I ended up going.
Okay. So at Texas Tech, this is around the time where, for me, once again, being a California dude at Fresno State, we had scheduled y'all. So this is before Texas Tech, like they on the verge of, making it known that
Right.
we some big time players in Texas in this Big 12 now. It's not just
right.
not just UT and things of that nature.
OU. Right. A&M.
Right. Oklahoma.
Right.
So talk about some of the guys you played with. I know y'all had Monte Rieger.
Yeah.
Because
I
was a sophomore.
Huh?
When we played y'all, I was a sophomore. And we get out there, man, and y'all had some dudes.
Yeah, man. Monte was actually one of my high school teammates, and Monte was roommates. So my whole first summer before school started, I lived at their house, So I mean, they really showed us what was going on. But Monte was a dog, man. Monte was first team All-American. You know what I mean? He went. He was a third pick in the second round. The Eagles. No, he went to Denver. He actually got drafted by Denver. Then he ended up signing 5 more years for the Eagles. But his son actually was a first round draft pick for the Eagles this past year.
Because he went to TCU.
Yeah, Jalen Reagor. Yeah, Jalen Reagor, man. That's crazy. But yeah, man, we had some pretty good players, man. We had the other Ricky Williams. You remember him?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Little Rick ran hard, man. I love Little Rick, man. Then we had
who was y'all quarterback again?
Back when you was playing?
Yeah.
When we played you?
Yeah. Who was the QB? Because y'all had Little Ricky Williams, Monte Rieger. Y'all had a DB. I forget his name. He was nice.
Darwin Brown, DB.
It was Darwin Brown. There was another one. think he ended up going to Cleveland.
Oh, what's his name?
Talking about him.
I know, you gotta give me a second. Anthony Malbro.
Anthony Malbro.
Yeah.
So who?
Yeah, he coached now in Houston right now. What'd you say?
Who's the cat I caught on the kickoff?
John Norman.
You got to send me that tape, man.
I know, man. I swear I will, bro. Because I got it in the archives. You know what I mean?
Hey, that was
yeah, man. I don't know how you tackled him. This day, I still don't know how you did that, bro. I've been watching it.
I got his.
I was like, look at Marsh. Because hey, you was the only dude too. Hey, so I mean, to give a little feedback on what we talking about, we had a guy named John Norman on a Texas Tech team, and he was a kickoff. Was it a punt? It was a kickoff return, right? Yeah, a kickoff return, and Marsh was on Fresno State, and they kicked it to us, and Norman almost ran it all the way back, and somehow, I don't know how Marsh did it. Marsh caught up to him and clipped his foot so perfectly that John somehow fell. I still don't know how you did it, bro, because it ain't no way that should happen. Because it ain't like he was kind of escorted in there. Yeah.
Yeah, blockers and everything.
And I was like, oh, John gone. Yeah. And then next thing I know, Marsh come in there and clipped it. I was like, how did he do that? You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing about that story, me and you in BC, and you like, I said, yeah, man, we played Texas Tech my sophomore year. He was like, yeah, man. And then y'all fumbled in the end zone, and we ended up getting out of there. I think y'all beat us by 1 or 3. And, And you was like, yeah, man, the dude, we almost ran this kickoff back, and then some dude came out. I said, that was Hey,
I said, that was you?
You got to send me that.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, I got you. I promise you.
Man, Hunt been promising me that since I seen him in San Antonio almost 2 years ago.
It's crazy like that when you think, Marshall, as big as the United States is, playing college football, that you guys can have a connection like that over a play or, playing against each other. I mean, does that happen often?
Yeah, so like for me, football has shrunk my world.
Right.
So for me, it's like I know so many people through so many people. Like I know a guy who know a guy who know a guy who knows a guy. So like,
right.
With Hunt, I played against him in college. I played against his older brother in college, and it comes full circle. And Hunt may have played with a guy that played with me, or vice versa. So when you meet these other guys, it's kind of like it's a big fraternity. So I inadvertently am like, the 7 degrees of separation.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah. So it's crazy, and then we instantly got a bond because of a common, because of football. But through football, you have these relationships with teammates and people, and it shrinks your world.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy because when you think, like you said, with the U.S. being so big in terms of population, it's funny how things come full circle.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. It's such a surreal feeling when you can have that connection with people. Cause see, me and Hunt and Banks, Ryan, we hung out. So what people don't understand is like we was real friends. Like we really hung out. So like when we got to practice and shit or game day, it was just so like me and Corey was so locked in. I ain't have to. We can make eye contact. We knew what time it was.
Yeah.
So that's what made our teams in BC so special because we actually liked each other and hung out. So a lot of pro teams aren't like that.
Right.
Because everybody's vying for a position or competing, and it's a lot of testosterone and that type of thing. But we were, man, I will say my 11 seasons in Canada in the CFL at BC, it was funner than the NFL. I mean,
Wow. Yeah.
NFL was dope that 1 year I had over there because I met a lot of people, some that I like looked up to as a younger guy,
Right.
you know. And
Yeah.
now I'm in the locker room with
them.
I
Yeah.
gotta stop being a fan and be a damn teammate. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Steve McNair, rest in peace. Eddie George, I was a huge Eddie George fan in high school when he was at Ohio State. And to actually Samari Rowe, Javon Curse, you know, the list is long.
Yeah.
Neil O'Donnell was a backup QB. He's like damn near 40
Wow.
at the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
So for me to be on a team with these guys and they're actually my teammates versus a fan, you know, and you know, a lot of people who get to the pro game, they're kind of starstruck.
Yeah.
They have to quickly, you know, get out of being starstruck. Like, damn, he my teammate now. You know,
Yeah.
like, I don't need to ask for an autograph from this dude because he's my teammate. I'm not a fan. He's my teammate now. So, you know,
Right.
And I was telling Ryan how me, you, Banks, Ryan, like we in Glow, we used to kick it so hard. Like we liked each other. We was friends.
Right.
So even with all the shit talking and all the other stuff, we did everything outside of football together. So you don't, and I would say you don't really have those type of relationships in the pro game because everybody's looking for self. It's self-preservation, right? Man,
Yeah.
That's why BC was so special.
Like, and like you being there before us, that's the difference, right? Like, if you go in with a group, then you expect it to be tight with them. But like the thing about it is like when you go in and there's people already there, those are the ones who's kind of butt hurt and kind of nervous or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's the worst part about the NFL because normally all of the older guys are like, oh no, I can't deal with this young dude. I can't talk to. But yeah, man, at BC it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was all fun and games, to be honest with you, man. It made football fun. You know what I mean? I went through a patch to where it wasn't fun to me. You know what I mean? Like going from different teams and like, man, like always having somebody pretty much hating. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to me too. Like how I mean, I understand it's a business, it's about money, but I couldn't live with myself doing some of the stuff that them boys was doing to try to get ahead. You know what I mean? Like that just ain't never been me.
We'll see a lot of people outside the game that never signed a contract. They don't know all of the fuck that goes on, right? So I will say for my NFL experience with the Titans for that year, I had a lot of solid ass dudes like Kevin Dyson, George McNair. My quarterback at Fresno before Dave was Billy Volick. He was you know was on the roster a year before I was, so I kind of already had a teammate, and then our free agent
somebody there.
Our free agent class all made the team. You're talking about Jaquay Parker Thomas. You're talking about Lil Joe. He went to Nebraska. He's from Texas. He was a little returner. He played at Nebraska. Joe Walker, me.
Joe Walker.
Tall receiver. He's from the Bay Area. He went to UCLA, was like a backup quarterback and did his thing in Tennessee. I can't remember. But our whole free agent class made the squad. So we had like Samari Rowe, Javon Curse, like they all, you know, you could play. Okay. So I will say that I had a good experience. And Fisher was the head coach, and it was real chill and, you know, whatever.
Right.
Like you said, I've heard the stories. There's a lot of assholes, you know. So.
Like in Denver, it was different, right? Everywhere else besides Denver, it was different. Denver, like, because of how the head guy wasn't a punk, nobody else could be one. You know what I mean? So, like, well, my dude back then is kind of crazy to say because he is who he is now. It was Shannon Sharp. Like Shannon Sharp I used to ride back and forth with him to the hotel and to meetings every single day. Every single morning I rode with Shannon. Well, sometimes, he older, so he got more leeway. So I couldn't do a lot of stuff Shannon did, but like even like you know what I'm saying, but even like and that was somebody I grew up looking like, man, Shannon is the man. You know what I'm saying? Like that was somebody I grew up kind of admiring. I even had a Shannon Sharp jersey. I never told him this. I would never tell him this, right? But I had a Shannon Sharp jersey, and I was like, man, I'm because the first time he made me feel like I was cool or that I was a part of the team, I was like, man, this is kind of surreal. Yeah. He real for this, kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like because he didn't have to, you know what I mean? He didn't have to at all. And then once Shannon started being cool, then I felt like everybody else was cool. You know what I mean? But it takes a real one to actually do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like everybody else is gonna it's normally like this. It's the newbies, the guys that's just coming in, and then everybody else, and then the superstars, right? Yeah. And normally in this everybody else category, it's some haters in that thing, right? It's gonna be some haters in that everybody else categories because we knew. Superstars already know they solidify. They ain't got to worry about nothing. So in every locker room, it should be the superstars that make everything easier for everybody else. That was our locker room in BC, right? I ain't gonna say we were superstars, but we were the guys. We were the head honcho, and that's how you make the locker room a place where you want to come, right? Like football is easy if you make it a place to where everybody want to be. Yeah, man. Listen, bro. You remember the crazy thing about BC is that we stayed in the locker room until nighttime. You remember that? A lot of times, man. Like we would be done. We would be done with everything at 1:30. We was done, and we'll stay in the locker room all day until it was dark almost. Like that's crazy, man. But that's how much we love being around each other. Yeah, we was kicking it, man. It was fun.
Yep. And that's what I was saying too. Like it's funny you say that because Keith Bullock is my guy. Like
right.
Like man, Marston hurt his shoulder, man. Hey, he was that deal. So so I didn't care about nothing else. I had a chip on my shoulder because I felt like I should have been a draft pick.
Right.
Training camp, mini camp and training camp, and Javon Curse, Marlboro, and Keith Bullock. And Blaine Bishop, like, man, look at them feet, man, boy. You okay, man? That's all I needed. Like, because they was like you say, they the guys. And to this day, Keith be like. So I didn't know nothing about none of that other stuff. It things happen the way they happen, but when your peers know, and that's what we play for at the end of the day. That's all we care about, right?
Yeah, man.
That was boy.
I'm looking dark, man. So.
But I was telling Ryan that's what made BC so special because, man, like prime example. I come when you and Bank stayed together downtown. I come down there. I damn spent the night at y'all apartment down there.
Right.
It was so late. I was like, man, I ain't going back to my condo. I'm finna hang with y'all, man. We downtown.
Right.
So it was just so fun. Yeah. Just so
it was family, man, for real. Family, bro. I mean, we all was away from home, you know what I mean? And we made it a family, man. That's the difference. That's why we could do the stuff that we did, man.
Yeah, we can't
because we was all what'd you say?
That you can't talk about.
Nah, you know it. Hey, bet not talk about it.
So, Aaron, you spent some time in the NFL Europe with the Hamburg Sea Devils. What was that like?
Yeah, I actually love. Now I can't say. At first, I didn't know what to think. Right, I was nervous. I mean, I'm a boy from Texas. Now I done been a few places, but Germany,
all the way over Germany by myself. I really didn't have no friends going over there, right? But you know, you got to put yourself on the line when you're chasing your dreams, right? So
Yeah.
I go to Germany, and it ended up being one of my best experiences, honestly, man. It was you learn like everybody, like the best thing about football is that you meet people from different areas
Mm-hmm.
and different upbringings and all that other stuff, but you know, you share the same dream kind of deal. You know what I mean? So oh, so it's like I'm sorry, I was watching this play. But you know, the Big 12 championship game is on, you know what I mean? Just so y'all know. Oh, you killing them. But yeah, so it's like everybody's from different places and we all in Germany together, right? So that's crazy enough as is. But Germany, that team never had a football team before we got there. So they treated us awesome. I mean, like they treated us really good, really good. And the memories that I had in Germany, I'll never forget. Now I can't say it helped playing wise or football wise, anything like that. Well, being able to play football more always helps, right? But like it was a different situation. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it because it's part of it was part of the journey, right? And it was different. It was fun. I had a good time.
Did you guys have any issues with the language barrier or anything like that? Or
Of course. Hey, I can't tell you how many times we got lost. You know what I mean? Or the good thing is we start because every team has their own players, right?
Mhm.
So we started being smart enough to realize we can't go nowhere without these dudes. You know what I
Right.
mean? So we used to bring they had to break that language barrier for us, and after a while, you learn little stuff that will help you through that ride, right? Like so you'll learn like simple words that'll help you get through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is the grateful thing is that everybody wants to learn English or everybody has to learn English everywhere in the world, right? So that's that they already knew some English.
Right.
Now it might have been broken English or whatever, but they already knew some sort of English. So that helped that barrier too, right? That language barrier.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool though, man. It was cool. You know, I it's some crazy stuff happened down there too, but it's I wouldn't take it back for the world, man, because I mean, you know, everything is growth in my opinion, right? Everything you do, you're supposed to learn and grow from it. And that helped me out a bunch.
I heard I was gonna go to Europe. I was gonna go to Europe.
Should have, bro.
And
Hey, but I didn't go the first time they wanted me to. I was like, I can't go to Europe, man. But I'm thankful I did just because it was an experience. You know what I mean?
now I heard.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
my bros went.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, I'm a rap star when I got off the plane.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh man.
Hey, man. Hey.
Hey. But you know what? From what I'm told, it's similar to how the Canada thing was.
Yeah, but it is. But since we was the only, well, actually, they had a tennis team. Man, you know the crazy thing? They had it wasn't Wimbledon, but they had like a huge tennis thing there.
Mm-hmm.
And like Federer and Sampras and I got to watch all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's real big over there.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a tennis team who I mean not tennis, a soccer team that's supposed to be really good. So we did that too, man. It was kind of crazy.
What did you know about Canada before you came up to the CFL?
Man, Honestly, I was finna give up on football and be a coach.
Mhm.
And I already had a job. Well, it was gonna be a GA spot, but I already had one set up in tech, and I was gonna do that. But my brother was already in the CFL, and Reggie was like, "Man, you might as well come to Canada." And I learned a lot from Reggie, his mistakes and all, right? So, and he seemed to be doing good. So I was like, "Shoot, man, I might come to Canada." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go to Canada." So what happened was BC had my rights.
Mhm.
So I was talking to Roy Shield. Oh, I ain't trying to get Roy in trouble for this, right?
We already know.
But Roy gave me some knowledge to try to get out of my that little situation, right? But Bob wasn't buying it. Bob Obilovich, I love Bob. Bob
Hey,
brought me to
Aaron.
CFL. Yeah. So Bob wasn't buying none of that. So he was like, "Hey, listen, you come to BC 1 year. You don't like it, we'll release you. You can go play with your brother." Because I was only gonna play football just to play with my brother one more time, right?
Gotcha.
So I was like, "All right, I'll do that." And I got to BC, and that was it for me playing with my brother. Like, I mean, I got the luxury of going to Saskatchewan, playing them 4 times a year. You know what I mean? So I was gonna see my brother regardless. So I actually love BC. I loved everything about BC. So I was like, man, it don't make and we won a Grey Cup our first year, right? So it wasn't like I'm finna leave after that to go play for Saskatchewan. Even though Saskatchewan won that next year, which is crazy.
We were supposed to
win. Yeah. Oh man. Hey man, we had one of the best teams in the world that year.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I got that 1 year in BC, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna stay here. But yeah, that's how I ended up going to Canada, playing for Canada, because my brother turned me on. My brother was like, "Hey man, you might as well go. I know you don't want to stop playing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, I'm just tired of going through it all." You know what I mean? He was like, "Man, I'm telling you, just come up here, man. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it." So I listened to him, and it was a great decision. I'm happy I made it.
Definitely. Hey, we was some wild boys your first year up there. That was my 3rd year.
Yeah.
So so check it out, right? So, we had some older dudes on the team, and they were kind of like a little more old school. So, I had a mouthful of gold teeth, dreads, and the whole 9, right? So this is my 3rd year. So I had just signed with Kansas City Chiefs prior to Hunt and Banks and them coming for 06. So I was a Chief for like 5 days. Now they didn't want to give me a signing bonus because my shoulder was kind of jacked up from the MRI. So I'm sitting there like, because Casey just signed.
Mhm.
So I had his uncle was my agent at the time.
Right.
So they flew me and worked me out. Herm like, "I'm gonna shoot it to you straight. I'm gonna sign you today." So I'm like, cool. So I go do my little world tour with the medical stuff and all that stuff. And then when I get back to Arrowhead, like the head trainer kind of looking at me funny, getting on his phone and shit. I'm like, damn. So I get up there to Carl Peterson. He's like, "Dante, we're gonna sign you today, but can't give you a signing bonus." And I'm like, that's our thing, right, Hunt? Man, I was trying to get that up front.
Right.
So it's like, you got to sign
Right.
waiver, and you know how them go. You gonna sign this waiver, and then if I think the contract was like 310, if I would have got hurt, I would have got, what is it, 80% of that or something. It's like a little more than half of that when you sign an injury waiver.
It wouldn't have been 80% though. It probably would have been like 70 or 75 or something like that.
Yeah, so it probably been 310. I probably got 240 or something, or 200.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I sit on that for 5 days, and I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna go back up to Canada. I'm gonna talk to Wiley and for all kind of money. So
right,
it worked out. And Hunt and Banks, we get Banks in the dispersal draft. I will say this: when you and Banks and Glove came in, that those were like the final pieces, bro. Like, cause it was still our age group, and it wasn't just
right.
You know, we talk. You know, that ain't for this interview, but you know, certain people, you know, they weren't trying to let us live. You know what I'm saying? So
they wasn't going to.
So it was injected youth and ignorance and brashness.
Right.
We clowning around, but we were passionate and loving the game, and it showed on game day. So that was a good deal, man. I'm glad you came, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad I came too, man, because it rejuvenized me. You know what I'm saying? Rejuvenated me. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, I was done with playing on the playing side. But I got that love again, you know what I'm saying? Just because of how we went about it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if everybody would say this, but we was pretty special, man. You know, like looking back, and I always knew we were special, but especially now, looking back, man, we were like seriously special. That team was special, man.
I keep telling people like BC was like the Patriots.
Right.
Like we literally, because I went my first year in 2004, we lost to Damon and then in Toronto. 2005, we were stacked again, right? And we lost the Western Final to Edmonton at BC. 2006, we win it. 2007, we won it. You get what I'm saying? We literally could 4 or 5 Grey Cups. Mm-hmm. And that team was, man, I'm gonna be honest, Wally and Obi put together a damn good team. I don't know how they was able to get, like, it was gumbo. Like, they got all the ingredients and it just
right. Just threw it in there. Yeah. I'm telling you, it worked so good. Yeah. Man, and I know, like, we were, and it's gonna sound, we were like the Patriots because everybody in the NFL hated the Patriots, right? Yeah. That's how it was with us. And it wasn't because it was just because they couldn't play in BC. That was number one, and they couldn't be on our team. Yep. That's all it was. Yep. They knew we were good. Like my brother was even saying, see, before I even got there, he was trying to tell me how to what was gonna happen when I got there. He was like, I'm gonna tell you, they arrogant now. They arrogant, but you're gonna have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, because you know me about arrogance. I was like, I ain't gonna be able to make it if they arrogant. You know what I'm saying? But I come to realize y'all wasn't arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Y'all were just, it's a difference between arrogance and then swag or knowing that y'all are who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what it was, you know, like everybody thought when I was on the team, they thought I was arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll never forget all the craziness I heard because they was acting like I was arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang. But that's just the way it is, man. They hate you when they ain't you.
Hey, that part. In BC, prior to me getting up to Canada, I didn't know too much. I'm like, man, everybody an Eskimo? Are they igloos?
Yeah, man. I didn't even know about
Canada, but Rocket Ismail, Doug Flutie, and I knew Jeff Garcia because he a Bay Area guy, played for the Niners, and Warren Moon. Other than that, I ain't know nothing about Canada. I get to BC, I'm like,
Warren Moon.
Because I'm still living, I'm still at home in Oakland, my first few years in BC. So I'm like, it's right up the street. It's still West Coast. Oh, this is you know what I'm saying? Summer is still hot. Like, we playing the only thing I didn't like about BC is practicing in damn Surrey, man, outside in October.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they was wrong for that, man. I love Surrey, nothing wrong, nothing, you know, no disrespect to the people of Surrey, but it was just far from where we played at, you know what I mean? But it's all good, man. I think that we left a lot of championships on the table out there, man. You know what I'm saying? We definitely did. I would say we should have 5 instead of 2.
Yeah, I agree.
5 instead of 2.
I'm gonna ask you this question.
The Calgary, the one Calgary one, was that 08?
08, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which one did Calgary win with Labenjo? Rest in peace.
08. That was 08 when he wrecked the slab.
Yeah. Definitely should have won that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely should have won.
I'm gonna say this though. Calgary was stacked that year, bro. Like remember,
Yeah, they were stacked.
They finally start giving money to the defense. Remember they had Dwight and they had BB. Before that, Calgary always had offense, but they ain't had no defense. Man, listen.
Right. Yeah.
That boy was eating. So let me ask
you, both of them.
How did you like playing in Canada versus the NFL in terms of, because see, this is the question that I want to pose because a lot of people don't know. In Ocho, Chad, we had that conversation when we was in Montreal. He was like, man, it's real out here. See, people don't know. A lot of people look at the CFL as a second-rate league, not knowing, especially for me speaking as a DB, it's way harder to cover in Canada than it is.
Right.
Everybody can go in motion, run at you. The field's way bigger. So in terms of the difficulty or lack thereof, was it difficult for you to make the transition from playing in the league versus the CFL?
Well, I mean, I changed positions, right? So it was difficult for me. And it's as a lineman, you start from a yard back, right? That was brand new to me, right? So just that alone is a huge difference that a lot of guys can't come back from. You will see good defensive linemen, like really good, not make it just because they can't handle that yard. That yard is a beast when it comes down to it, because everything is based off. As a D lineman, you want to latch on and get off fast. Everything is about quickness, right?
Right.
So with that yard, that delays everything, right? So it's gonna be harder for you to get off that block because it's gonna take you a yard to get to it. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Like it's amazing. And I'm gonna tell you this, just to talk about that a little bit. The CFL gets disrespected a lot, and it's weird to me. Even now, I get guys coming up to me trying to tell me to, hey man, you think you can talk to one of your guys to give me an opportunity to play in the CFL? And this man barely played in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you don't have a chance, man. Hey, get you a job, man. Let's do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, start working on your career because you're not gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
please let's talk about this real quick because since you're on that subject. Okay. The CFL is harder to make than NFL. People don't realize that.
Right.
You have a certain amount of American players. It's a ratio, people.
Right.
It's a ratio. You have a certain amount of American players, and they have to have a certain amount of Canadian players. And if you ain't a starter as an American, see, and the way our GM and head coach worked, he gave no fucks. So he thought he could go get a Dante, a Aaron, on any corner in the United States.
Anytime in the world. And another thing is too, and don't let a Canadian be good at your spot because you gone. Right? Like even if he ain't as good as you, it's not about that, especially as him coming out of college. If he got a glimpse of hope, then that American is gone because the team is better off the more Canadians they have that can play, right? So that's why like it's hard to make. I mean, it's hard to continue to be on that team, right? It's not easy to be on a Canadian team, man. That's what people don't get that, but it's not easy, man, because of the ratio and because of the play is different too.
Also, you got 2 weeks in training camp. People don't know that.
Yeah. Hey, to this day, it's my guy. I love him. Solomon, wouldn't have been in the CFL if it wasn't for us, because Solomon didn't get to play preseason.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a while. I was like, man, I like him. You know what I'm saying? I think he good. You know what I'm saying? He just keep getting hurt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think Solomon was gonna make the team, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Because he was hurt.
Giannis either. Remember, it's 3 minutes left in the game. I'm like, Neil, put him in the game.
Right.
Man, I'm glad you said that. Yeah,
man. Yep.
So it's a lot of guys who fall by the wayside,
Right.
because there's just not enough time for opportunity, Ryan. You know, like there was no mini camps when we played. Like you show up to camp and you better do something. Like, you got a couple days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like your time was very limited when you was out there too. It ain't like, because you only get an hour and a half, 2 hours of practice, right? So it ain't like you had a whole bunch of time, and they want their starters to get the reps. So whenever you go out there, you better show up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think it's crazy too. You talk about, players kind of disrespecting the CFL in a sense. I think it's going to be a cakewalk. I think a lot of the fans, especially in Vancouver, they just don't show up. There's just no interest in the CFL, which is crazy. It's such a great league, right?
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a great league.
Hold on, wait. What'd you say? They're not showing up no more?
Not BC, no. We're looking at maybe, I think it was down to 17,000 fans last season, maybe even 16. It's low. It's sad. If there is no CFL season this coming year, I think the CFL is done. But yeah, there's not many fans anymore. Not many fans interested. Saskatchewan's good. Toronto's kind of hit and miss. Montreal, they had a really good year last year. Once again, no fans in the seats. So I don't know.
I saw that, because I haven't kept up with it as much, but I kind of see whatever comes across my Twitter feed. And I talked to some guys, still Solly and guys of that nature. But when we were there, BC Place was packed out.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. It's pretty nice.
I mean, we was average.
Dang, that's tough to hear right there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but see, I think, and once again, I think another thing is this, and we talked about this when we were still playing. They don't market the players the way they need.
Yeah.
And I told this story many times, I know, to the media up there. When I was, the 1 year I had in the NFL, after the season, one of my real close friends who played with me at Fresno, he was a 3rd round pick to the Bengals. He was like, Marsh, you ain't get your royalty check? I'm like, hell you talking about? What royalty check? He was like, man, you about to get a $6,500 check in the mail. Check your mail. So a couple days later, I checked the mail. I got a $6,500 check. And that's from the NFLPA for players who got credited seasons or whatever. After that season, they get a check because they can use your likeness or whatever and merchandise stuff or video.
Yeah, no doubt.
All that stuff. Mm-hmm. So we're the product.
Right.
The players. And I remember going to what was that mall going towards Guilford Hunt? What was the name of that place?
Guilford Mall.
Yeah.
Guilford Mall. Yeah.
It's been a while, man. So I go.
Yeah.
So it was a sport check on the lower level of Guilford Mall. And it's like after our 06 season. And I see a 31 jersey, man. I'm stoked. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different seeing fans buy jerseys and wear them at the
right.
Now your shit is in the store. So I'm like, man, I'm taking pictures of this motherfucker. But then I kind of I felt some type of way when I left the mall, because I'm like, damn, they selling that 31 jersey in the mall. I ain't getting no money from that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think if you create the same type of foundation or the way it's set up in other leagues that are very successful. Obviously, I'm not silly. I know it's a gazillion people here versus you have more people in California than y'all have in the whole country up there. However, if you force feed the people the product and it's a good product, they're going to buy in. You have to market players. Kids they're not coming to see a coach. They're not coming to see the logo or the team. No, they're coming to because they fell in love with a player.
Yeah.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So when you market the product, I think you will have, And I have my own thoughts on why teams don't in the CFL don't do it as often, is because it's a turnstile up there. They want to be able to get rid of you, discard you whenever they feel like it. And they can't do that when they have a player that they're building up and he's actually pretty good. And he has
that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
That's true. I can believe that's true.
See,
I'm like, that's crazy. Because that's what drives. See, when you talk about, because I know Hunt can attest to this too. I'm a little kid. I loved Walter Payton.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the 80s, Sweetness was the guy. So
right.
You know, we fell in love with players. And that's why the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA is so huge, because the world loves these sports and they fall in love with players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they identify with those individual players. They're not,
Yeah, exactly.
and I think the CFL does it so wrong because it's such a beautiful game and the league can grow. But when you're trying to, the CFL, no. They want to see a Hunt, a Marsh, a Banks, a Dickinson, a Printers, a G. Roy Simon, a Milt Stegall. They identifying with those players.
Yeah.
Just like you had your jerseys in the background. Those are identified players.
Yeah.
Right.
Really promote the players, the product.
Yeah. So I think the thing that gets me too, I've been to a lot of NHL games, quite a few. And you go to an NHL game, it's an 86 game season. There's too many points in the season where guys can just put in the motions, fuck around on the ice, half-ass play, lose, win, no big deal. You start playing, watching football, you got like a, 16 game season. Shit matters now. You got to start winning games. You go down 0-2 in a season, you're talking about maybe potentially not making the playoffs. Right. That's huge shit, CFL, 3 downs. That's huge shit. You got to start, advancing down the field now. If you don't, you're kicking the ball away. You're playing defense, right? So that's a lot of what got me into the NFL and the CFL was the shorter season. Games mean something right now. More exciting. You're chucking balls in the end zone. Fans are going crazy. All this kind of, love it. Love every second of it. But now in BC, right now, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the upper deck, the second level is basically like tied off. You can't get up. There's no seating in the upper deck.
And it's sad.
Sectioned right off. Yeah, it's sad.
Hold on.
We're
Hold on. What? Say that again. I don't get what you mean.
In the upper deck, it's not. Well, you can't. There's no seating up there. And then they've got drapes over the seats. You can't even see the seats.
Yeah.
But why?
Because
they're trying to compress everything into the lower bowl to try and get more of an atmosphere. Because they're not selling out.
Oh.
You're looking at a 75,000 seat arena, and you're compressing it all into the lower bowl, and it just looks better on TV as well. It looks like there's more fans there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think they're gonna have a season?
They better have a season. I think the league is quietly making, putting the steps in place to have a season. I know teams are signing players and shit, but who cares? The league's got to sit down and get their act together and figure out either, we're going to have everybody, play in one stadium or whatever they decide to do.
I think it'll happen.
It has to happen.
This is me. I truly believe that everything has been going on for almost a year now. Like we was talking earlier, I think it's an agenda. I do believe the virus is real. It exists, but I just let people listen. We can't continue to shut down small businesses and some big businesses where a lot of people are employed, and there's going to be a lot of people with no work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if we can go to a Walmart and it's a gazillion people in Walmart with no social distancing, we can go to a Home Depot or Lowe's, or things of that nature. Hey, how different is a bunch of people standing around shopping in Walmart different from the gym? You still touching all the shit on the shelves. You still in close proximity. So that's why my mind thinking outside the box. You know what I mean? I just agree with everything that's going on. But I do truly believe that things will get back to some semblance of normalcy, if you will. Like, it has to, because we can't. I just don't see how the world can continue to move forward this way. Because it's
Right.
Yeah.
It's working. It's not working.
No.
Hey, it's Aaron Hunt. Thanks for joining us on Inside the Minds podcast. Join us next week.